Hey guys, like here, another day in the Sauna Build. In this video I want to show you how I'm going to be doing some of the electrical wiring and connections for my outlets and stuff. Before I start closing up all these walls, I want to drill all my studs with the holes needed to run the wires through and put at least most of the outlets so I know where they're going to be, have them in place already, so when it's time I can connect everything up. Let me show you what you guys need and some tips on how to get it done. So I got one here already. Obviously this is going to come out because this is not where I'm going to keep it. And my electricity is coming right from the ground. I did a whole video how to run it from your house underground, so check that out. And I'm going to wire up a couple outlets in here. This is my changing room before you enter the sauna room. I'm going to start from the gazebo section. Yes, my sauna's going to have a gazebo. I'm going to have one outlet right under the roof here. This is my door here. So I'm going to put one facing out, so we have access on the outside so you don't have to go inside. And then I'm going to run wiring through this wall. As you see, I already did a hole, and I'll show you guys how to do that in a second. I'm going to run a couple outlets, probably like one maybe here, another one on that wall because I might want to keep something there that plugs in. I might run one up to the top and have an outlet or at least some wiring ready up there somewhere if I want to do some lighting in the ceiling here. And then I need to run wiring to the entrance of the sauna room, as I'm going to have a light switch here for the inside. This is going to be the light for the inside of the sauna, which is going to go on the other side right here. So I'm going to have to run wiring up to there. And then maybe you run some wiring to this side as well for a switch or something. We'll see about that. I'll have another light in here as well, so wiring to the top. So maybe a switch right here on this side as well to turn the lights on. But let me show you some tricks on how to put this in and drill the holes and so on. I already got one outlet that's going to come out. It's not going to stay here. Basically, you need the boxes. Plastic ones work. Metal ones work too. These are the ones that just nail in right to the studs. Some nails to hold the wiring in place. These plates, I'll show you what to do with them in a second. Gotta drill holes. That's what we're using here. And then wire connectors, drill, hammer, wire cutters, stuff like that. Let's set it up. So that's my main power wire. Obviously I'm not gonna run it directly to my switch box. I need to get a junction box to split all the wires out into as well. So that's one thing I'm missing, so I gotta pick up. Well, this is where my switch is gonna be. I'm doing them about 50 inches high off the floor, so all my switches line up at the same level. The outlet, I'm probably gonna keep a little lower here for the outside. I'll figure that out and I'll show you guys how to run the wires through. Alrighty, I got my protective box so I can run some wires through and connect if I want to split any. I found my outlets. So I'm going to be doing two switches on the inside, one for the sauna, one for the changing room. I'm going to be doing these outlets with the USB charging ports, one inside, one outside. This is going to go outside right here by the entrance of the door. And this is going to power the light here in the gazebo once I put one up. And we'll have one outlet here. And then this is the GFCI outlet. So we're already protected, but our main line is actually already connected to one as well. So technically we're fine. But if you're doing stuff outdoors, you still want this to be visible, just in case somebody questions it, right? So we're gonna run a load line from this. This is where your main power line connects to give power to this. And the load line is only if you want to connect additional outlets, which we do. So once I have this here, I'm gonna run a line from it. Just to confirm, this is for the lamp, for the switch. And then we're going to run the load line to our next outlets. And I'm probably going to split it also on the bottom here. Use my box to run a line to this switch. And then run a separate one to other switches. Just to spread it out more. So let me show you guys some steps. I'll figure out where to put all the outlets. And we'll set it all up. Alright, make sure you turn off your power, which we did. I went straight to the fuse box, turned it off. So now you can also, use a tester to make sure. And now I'm just gonna split this wire up. The box is gonna go right here, and then we'll run it to here, up there, to the side, split it all up. I'm gonna prep my wires now. It'll be just easier than doing it once it's in the box. So that's the idea. The wire will go through. And we'll connect our other wires, run them out this way, and then up where we want to go. So I'll finish this up. Now I didn't show you guys what it looks like. Alrighty, we got a box installed. I left the opening on the inside. And then we have our cover to close it up. But basically I got two wires running. One for the switch that's going to go up there, and the other one for the outlet that's going to go over here somewhere. So we have 6 total wires. Now we got to strand them all together. You're gonna need strand connectors. Get the right size for the amount of wires you're connecting. And as you see, I already nailed this wire down with these guys. I'll show you guys how to use one in a second. So let me connect these together. We got the grounds, we got the white wires, and the black wires. So if you just get a twist connector and put it on top and twist them together, it technically holds it, but it's not going to have a good safe hold. The wires will not have a good connection. So you actually wanted to do it manually first before you finish it with this. See, it holds it, looks fine, but if you're able to pull out any of the wires, in which case I can't, but it can happen, this is not a good connection. See, they come apart. You want them twisted together, then you basically cover it up with this. So I don't have a fancy tool that attaches to a drill. I'm just going to do it with pliers. Get all 3 together. And this is what you want to do. Something like that. Now we got a good strong connection. Trim off the excess because that's a little too long now. It's going to be exposed. And now I'll wrap my connector on it. And this isn't going anywhere now. You can still test, pull each wire, make sure it doesn't pull out. You can use tape around it if you want, but technically this is all fine right now. I'm gonna do the other 3 and we'll be all set. And we are all set now. Ground, you obviously don't have to use the wire connector. Just make sure it's nice and tight together. Can close this up. I'm not going to worry about that right now. Now we're going to work our way up, start connecting to the outlets. So these are the boxes I'm using for the outlets. Those are the ones that just nail right to the studs. And these do have markings here for the thickness of, sheetrock or whatever walling you're using. You don't want this to be flush with the wall, because when you put your sheetrock, or in my case, I'm doing wood boards 1 inch thick, this will be sunk in. And when you put your outlet and try to cover in, it's going to be sunk in as well. So this has to stick out so it's flush with whatever wall finish you're doing. In my case, it's going to be 1 inch wood boards. So I marked myself 1 inch here, and that's where I'm going to line it up. So I have 1 inch sticking out, and then they just nail it in. And that's about it. Now we can pop these tabs out, run our wires in, start making our connections. And I did this one about 46 inches off the ground, but you know, do as you please with your setup. So this will be my power to the outlet. Now I can nail this down as well. Pretty simple design. It's a little safety, plastic safety collar on the metal staple, and just put it in the middle and nail it down. The reason you want it in the middle of the stud, not by the edges, so you don't hit it with any screws accidentally, whatever, like that. And I'll show you what else you do when you're running the stud. The wire through the inside of a stud, as opposed to being on the outside, which technically you shouldn't hit it with any screws or nails. So that's that. We can start running everything else, see where we want it. Here's where we are so far. Got this one connected. We run our secondary wire to this outlet here. It's going to be my USB charger port, and I'll probably run one from there, keep going. But I wanted to show you now, since we drilled a hole, which I'll show you as well in a second, in the middle of the stud plates I showed you guys earlier. These guys go on the outside here to protect, because now you're inside the 2x4, and there's a chances that you'll be nailing this down or drilling sheetrock, wood into it, whatever. So you want to make sure that the area where your wire is, so you don't hit it, is covered with a metal plate. So that way, if you accidentally drill in there, this is going to stop you. And we're going to put one from both sides. That way the wire is protected. And you're going to do that anywhere when you drill through. And the way we drilled our holes is one of these bits was the easiest thing you could use for wood. Regular drill bits will work as well. So you're going to just line it up where you want the hole. You got the guide. That's it. It's ready. Now you can run your wire through it, and so on. Let me keep going and show you guys how it all comes out. Alrighty, let me show you what I came up with here. So, like mentioned, all the power is coming from the bottom. I split it into two. This will feed the outlets here. This is feeding our outside outlet and the first light switch. I'm also going to connect to the load section of the outlet, so I can connect more outlets, which is this wire here. I don't know where I'm going to run it yet, so that comes out of there. The bottom is our actual line. I already have my ground wires connected in there. Then the cable over here is going to the light that's going to be outside here, which I'll show install in another video, because I'm not going to install that today. Then this one here is just a short wire to connect to my inside switch. I figured since I have enough connections, I'm going to connect my inside switch light to the same outlet over here. So that's the power to the switch and the light, and then we'll go up here and the light will be here at some point. So now let me show you the mess I made here, how to connect all this. But that's the idea. We're going to be connecting to this outlet that I showed you guys earlier, and basically our main line power is connecting to here. White and hot is the black wire. So that's where our power is going to go to. And any additional switches, as well as that additional light, I'm connecting. I'm going to remove this sticker to the load. That's to basically add additional receptacles. And then this is for a light that's operated by this switch. So we got to connect this to this setup as well, which I'll show you guys right now how to do it all. And if anybody has any feedback or comments, please do. I'm not an electrician. I just kind of know this stuff, so this is how I'm doing it. That's all. So I'm removing my load sticker. And we're using 12 gauge wiring here. All the 12 gauge will fit into these holes, and then you tighten this up to close it all. If you don't know the length to put it in, they actually show you a guide right here, how much you need to strip the wire, and you also can test it after you do it. As long as it's not sticking out, you are good. So, first, I'm gonna connect my light switch. So since this is stranded wiring, I'm not gonna put this into the hot line and squeeze it down with the other one, because this is where I wanna connect my main power line, right? So since I have to connect the switch as well, I have to connect these two with an extra wire that I got right here, which 3 will connect here, then this will connect to our line, and then the other one will connect to the wire that goes to the light switch up top, to the light. So let me do that first. Like before, you want to twist all these well together. Well, it's really the first 2 solid ones, and then we'll just add the stranded. Pull on each wire, make sure nothing's coming out. And this I'm also going to tape down. This is the tape I'm using. It's one of my favorites. Really good quality. So now this wire can be connected to our line connection. So hot right here. Alrighty, 1 wire down. Now we can connect our light switch. So it's this wire here. So same thing. For this one, we can use a smaller because this is only stranded wire. Make sure nothing comes out. And now we can connect our line, both the light and our main line, to the white section. As well as the ground next. So now with this being connected, we have power to the outlet and we have power to our light switch. Now everything else will be connecting the secondary switch for separate to run power to that switch, as well as our load line to additional outlets. Let me just pop in the ground. So that's all connected. And now all we got left is our additional outlets and our additional light switch, which is basically connected to the load line, these 4 spots. So we can do our hot first. Now lastly, get all this out of the way. And honestly, this is overloading the switch, but I mean, not the switch, but how much space we have in here. but it's gonna work, at least for my needs. Should be it. Now we gotta nicely fold the wires and get it all in there. And that's gonna be alright for now. Now I can work on the rest of the connections that I want to do here. Now let me show you how we're going to do the other switch that we also connected to the same box. So we have our power coming from the bottom wire. I already connected the two ground wires together, and then these are the wires that are going to run to the lamp. So two white ones, which is neutral ones, we're just going to connect together since we need them connected. And the ones that are going to be interrupted is the hot wire. So with this type of switch, I'll put a link to all the items I'm using here below as well. But with this Decora switch, I'm going to connect the ground here. Then we're going to connect our line, the power, to the bottom one, and our load that goes to the lamp to the top one. So we can start with those. And basically want to loop around it around the screw. And tighten this down. Before I do the other one, I'm just going to get my white ones done. So they're out of the way. Connect the load wire. And now our ground. There we go. Line, load, ground, and white wires spliced together. And that's it. And that's the light switch connection. Let's move on. So I also just connected the USB and USB-C outlet. I never worked with this brand before, but it looks solid. I was able to connect both wires for the extra outlet on both sides, and then the ground. I'm gonna run some electrical tape around this as well, just for extra. I don't like how these wires just sitting like this, but we'll see how this works out. So the wire that I connected to the load feed from the outlet, I ran it back up here as well, next to the other lamp wire, and ran it across to where my Sauna light's gonna be in here, over here. And switch all connected, same way. Line wire in bottom, load on top, ground, and the two white ones connected. And it's all running back up there. It's gonna go through a wall connect the light. Now, since I got this one in and I got this wire I'm gonna have to go above here because I can't drill through there. So I might put a switch here somewhere, outlet here as well. I want to have a USB charging port inside as well. Alrighty, this is gonna be it for now. Got the power back on. What I had is connected, and we got power, so that's a good sign. Now we can start testing our outlets and all that. So we got power here, we got power here. Our switch light, which will be this one, it's off. Turn it on, it's on. That works. Let's check the inside switch. Same idea for this one. This is the wire for it, so it's off. If I flip it, right, that works. The wire that we ran over here for this one, so this is the power going to it, and then this is the switch. Perfect, works. I'm also going to run a switch from this outside one to an inside one outlet. It's going to sit here under the window on the inside, and then I'm going to run more wire from it to a possible outlet or switch here on the wall somewhere. I didn't decide yet, but for now I want to have the wire just in case. It's better to have it and not use it than not have it and not be able to put it up later. Maybe some for an outside outlet, maybe something for the ceiling over the outlet, just to have access. But that's going to be it for the wire. Now I can finish the installation. Also, the sauna lamp is going to go right here somewhere. So we got the wiring for that done. And then we're going to have this lamp. Now we got to install the lamp for this wire. That's going to go over here somewhere. And that's going to be it, guys. Any questions, let me know. Please subscribe, follow. More on this build and other cool how-to videos. And videos coming soon on how I finish everything up, install the lights and other stuff. Thank you so much.